What is going on, true believers? I hope you're having a great day. My name is Bleeves. I'm here to tell you and navigate you through all of this craziness that is cryptocurrency. Now, if you like this type of content, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe button, bell to be notified on the way in, because we got a lot to go over. We found Satoshi Nakamoto. Apparently last night, we've discovered that somebody that we never even thought was and is or could be or might be, or who the hell knows, maybe not, but maybe not, but maybe. And Nvidia is now the biggest company in the world by dollar value, and that meant that Render took off and FET took off and a bunch of AI tokens took off, and then SHIB made a big move, which we're going to go over today, which could lead to a significant rally on Shiba Inu. Also, the narrative around Ethereum and Bitcoin very rapidly seems to have been changed, and it seems to be changing very, very quickly. Now, of course, it was going to change. We hit 64.4. Remember, guys, what I told you was between 64.5 and 63. You know, people came in here, they said, oh, 60,000, 58,000. Somebody even said 38,000. You know, they're just throwing out wild ass numbers because, and they make sense, by the way. Depends on what logic that you're using. I don't want to be disrespectful to anybody who has stupid ideas, but you know, sometimes your stupid idea is actually right. Sometimes my stupid idea is actually right. So my stupid idea, 64.5 to 63, that we're going to see a significant bounce from that range. And guess what? We had 64,004 and we saw a significant bounce from that range, may even gone down to 64,000. We'll check that out a little bit later on. And by the way, we've now sold 13 shirts. 13 is a very unlucky number. So if you haven't bought a shirt yet, you might want to consider. It's coming up right after that. Make sure you go to the spread shop. And if you didn't buy a shirt, by the way, not everybody bought a shirt. 2 people bought like dog things and stuff like that, because Don't Stop Believing is a movement. So let's get into all that and more. It's not financial advice, but I'm always ready.
Some Bitcoin, 'cause I see the light. You might wonder who I am, but don't forget that I'm the man. They call me Bleeves, I'll do any sort you want me to. They call me Bleeves, I'll break the crypto wallet down for you, for you, for you. I built a crypto channel streaming live at night, and I'm the only YouTube streamer who's always right. Every morning I go say to all you guys, don't fall for all these motherfuckers and their lies. You might wonder who I am, but don't forget that I'm the man. They call me Bleeves, I'll do any shot you want me to. They call me Bleeves, I'll break the crypto wallet down for you, for you, for you. I don't know what to do because my memberships are missing you.
What's going on, everybody? Got a new t-shirt design. I wanted to show it to you today. Don't stop believing. What are you waiting for? Go to the store, order a shirt. Now back to the show. All right, guys, good morning to you. If you good morning. If you don't good morning to you anyway. The crypto market was pumping overnight. The U.S. market, guys, what do I tell you every morning? I tell you every morning that the U.S. market are a bunch of low rent takers, and they're not makers at this point. They're not putting capital into the market. They're just sucking the liquidity out. They're S-ing it like it's a big D, and they're doing it all month long. And I don't know why they're choosing June to do it, but they are. You know what I think. Anyway, so good morning to you if you good morning. Jason Pollins, good morning. Corvette, good morning. George Lopez Garcia, good morning. Crypto Antagonist, good morning. Aaron Thompson, Tony P, good morning. Trail Boss, good morning. Vader Prime, good morning. Richard Nelson, good morning. Thomas Weekly is off work for the next 4 days. Good morning to you. John Donnie is here. We got Carlos in the house. Rackoff is pumping, in fact. It was having a nice little surge. And by the way, if you haven't already, go check out Terraport. Remember, they're a sponsor for the channel. I do Luna Classic content all the time. If you haven't traded on Terraport right now, what the fuck fuck are you waiting for? Terraport.finance has been upgraded significantly. Also, you got staking and yield farming if you are so inclined and interested. It's a great opportunity and a great place to do that. Plus, that's where a lot of the meme coins are. You can go to CoinHall, but Terraport, much cooler. And Terraport does have a launch pad coming soon so that new crypto projects can be launched on them. And you might be able to use that to have a little bit more consistency and security in the investments that you are making. Some of these are low, some of these are very low liquidity projects that are launching often. You know, we want them to take off. We want all of them to be supported, but we need the community to step up. So go check out Terraport. Hunter Proof, good morning. VK, good morning. Raymond Pritchard, good morning. Crypto Guy, 1976 in the house. That's Ben Coin if you're nasty. I don't know. Somebody said that one time. Who was it that said that? Leave that in chat. I don't remember if you're nasty. God damn, I can't remember who it was, but it was somebody in a song a long time ago. Jay Manuel, good morning. Abimbola Janet, Daniel Delgado, Wilco Kashmire. This is Bitcoin's hobby. Daniel Delgado, things will get better after the election, in my opinion. They're going to get better before the election. Daniel, I hate to break it to you. We're going to have a nice little run. The reason we're going to have a nice little run, by the way, is because Joe Biden is going to go on the attack against Donald Trump for your crypto dollar. And the reason he's going to do that is because he realizes that he's alienating voters and isolating voters away from the Democratic Party. So they're going to do a community outreach. Matter of fact, Mark Cuban is leading the charge right now, and he's going to be, they're having a roundtable discussion in July to start to focus on mass adoption of cryptocurrency in the United States. And they're saying, you know, what they're doing is going, hey, booga, 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 or whatever the fuck Liz Warren says. And they're like, hey, stupid, why don't you shut up and go in the corner over there and like eat boogers or whatever it is that you do, Liz Warren, whatever you do to feed that bird body you got, you know what I mean? Like that tiny little frame, you know what I mean? Like, so you got to be eating, I don't know what you're eating, you know, but whatever it is, can't have very many calories on it. Y'all greasy old lady, whatever. Nice. I love you, especially if you Google, you know, YouTube. I mean, don't don't push me out of the algorithm. We love Liz Warren here. Anyway, so Johannes, oh crazy bat, they're throwing her to the corner and they're focusing on adoption. Now, how do you know that's true? Well, you don't know that's true except that Gary Gensler is now not stopping Ethereum. They've canceled they've canceled the investigation on Ethereum, and they are working towards mass adoption of crypto. This is a dramatic and sizable shift. So Daniel, it's gonna be before the election that we're gonna see some kind of explosive move. At this point now, the question becomes, after the election, do we get a continuation of that move? And how big is that continuation? After we have clarity in what's going on, if it's Joe Biden, then you know, I think we still move up. I think we still do okay, but we don't do great. But remember, Donald Trump is making some wild ass promises that he can't keep, or shouldn't be able or have reason to keep. So he's promising you cutting taxes, getting rid of taxes on wages, and just some wild stuff that just would not pass Congress and would not pass the House or the Senate, even with a bunch of MAGA in place. Even with that, you know what I mean? But the promise will cause a big spike. So it's going to be very, very interesting. I think either way, we're going to have we're still going to rip. But I do think it would be way better if Donald Trump were the president for that to happen. Make what you want of the rest of his policies or Biden's policies. Like them, don't like them, it doesn't matter. The important part is cryptocurrency for me. Ken Gillette says, good morning. Jason Bourne, good morning. We got John Donnie and we got Jason Bourne in here. Could you imagine that fight? Jesus Christ, Keanu, make that happen. We got Zico in the house. Good morning. Crypto and recovery. Shane Jordan's in the house. That's even better. Bleeves bullish on LUNC to a penny. I'm bullish too. And by the way, I'm getting more and more bullish by the day on Luna Classic. You know, sometimes you smile and you kind of fake it. You know, it's like, you know, it's gonna happen. I know it's gonna happen. I see that it can happen. I feel like it's gonna happen, but I don't see it happening. Like, what the fuck is going on? And then you take a deep breath and you kind of step back a little bit and you start to see what the development is in the space. And then you start to figure out, like, how do all the pieces fit together? And the pieces couldn't fit together before, but now with tax to gas implementation, a lot more pieces can fit together that could not before. And I think that's going to cause just an absolutely violent upsurge in the price of Terra Luna Classic at this point. But there is another thing that I'm going to point out to you, and you know, I might want to do it right now. Because I think that, you know, I'm not here to burst bubbles. I'm not here to tell you that your project is screwed. For example, one of my favorite projects, you guys know, Volt. I've been one of those Volted guys since the beginning. Even though they're not partnered with me, even though I don't talk about them very much, I'm very bullish on Volt. Another one. WAGME Games. I love WAGME Games. I like what they're doing. There's certain projects that I really like that I don't know if they're going to have the explosive move that they were going to have. Pablo is on something called Prometheum Prodigy. And you know, no disrespect to the project. I just think it's stupid. And it's not because I don't like Pablo. It's not because I don't like anybody who's involved in it. It's silly to me that you're creating this thing, which is a trading bot in a wallet and stuff like that, and you're expecting that that's going to be the big thing and that's the big catalyst to move you along. And I'm sorry, that's not it. Do you know why? Do you know how I know that's not it? Because Floki's already doing it. Floki already did it. So the best you can hope for is to peel off some sort of investors because, again, no new people are coming into the space. So basically, none of these projects that some of you guys are bullish on are ever going to take off. They're not going to, and there's a reason for that. And I'm going to show you the reason, and you're not going to like it. In 2021, this is a number right here. If you're wondering why your meme coin project isn't pumping, despite that they told you 2 years ago, it's only a matter of time. Here's why. These are the numbers of tokens you can buy since 2021. 1 million were created since April of this year. Now, total number of crypto tokens. The money is in the market. It's just going to pump and dumps. And then you, who hodl the long term, are becoming exit liquidity, and you're stuck holding the bag. In 2021, there were 443,000 cryptos that you could choose from, and we had a $3 trillion market cap. Okay. Not basic numbers. 443,000, half of it goes into Bitcoin, of course, and a lot of these are dead projects, by the way. I'm not saying that all of these are big pumping projects or anything like that. However, 1.15 million in 2022 are the number of tokens that we had. In 2023, it was up to 1.98. And then in 2024, again, we haven't even counted the April number. There's 2.52 million crypto projects. All we've done is dilute the pool. Now, here's the problem with that. First of all, the dilution of the pool is because, let's say you guys are going in and you're like, oh my God, Stinky Smallwood Dingleberry .enu, or whatever stupid name somebody comes up with, Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic, whatever, all of these things they come up with. Everybody gets in, and the liquidity pool starts at 50,000, then it goes up to 1 million, and then it starts to pump, right? And then you start buying near the top because you think it's going to go on forever, boss, and you think it's going to keep going and keep going and keep going. Well, it's not going to keep going. It's coming back down. It's going to retrace, right? Well, then you bought in, and then they took your money and sold their tokens at or near the top. Not the projects, by the way. I'm not saying the projects. I'm saying the game is to buy low and sell high. The people who play the game right, who buy low and sell high, they're using too many of you as exit liquidity, and then you're getting stuck holding a bag. And guess what? There's just a lot more bags now than there were before. Now, the other piece to that is, let's say that this half-assed dead project that is not moving at all, that hasn't really done anything in 2 years. And by the way, I'm going to show you one, Kishu. And for those of you that remember, we talked about Kishu a lot. We talked about Kishu a lot for a long time, right? Because what did it do? In the bull market last time, it went up to 150 million market cap in just a short period of time, right? But this right here, this is Kishu, okay? And this is an honest Kishu, all right? It pumped up super hard when SHIB was running. It was going crazy, right? So it popped up here, right? And then it popped over here, and it had Massive market cap, massive market cap. Well, now it's spiked a few times since then. It's not dead, right? It has $2 million in liquidity. It also has a $41 million market cap. So, and you can see these numbers over here, 2.3 million in liquidity, 41 million market cap. That's not insignificant. That's not insignificant in any way. However, there's $2 million worth of investors locked into this thing right now. And do you know where they bought? They bought up here. Most of them bought up here. Okay. How do I know that? Because anybody who, unless you're an idiot, you would have sold by now, unless you're stuck, unless you're absolutely like frozen stuck. There's 261,000 holders of Kishu. So, just have some perspective and have a little bit of wisdom in what I'm trying to tell you here, because it's clear and it's obvious that Kishu, not a dead project, but there's $2 million sitting over here. Just imagine, if you would, that $2 million in liquidity got sold off today and flooded into the rest of the broader market. Just imagine that. Just imagine that. I'm not saying that it should or it will. And I'm not saying that Kishu is not a good project that's not going to continue to pump at some point. I'm saying that as we sit right now, $2 million is lost in Kishu. Now, remember Bob? Bob was a year ago. Okay. Now we're on day charts here. So you can see Bob had this enormous pump, right? And Bob's tried a couple times to recover, right? And it will at some point probably have a nice little run. But consider how many people are just absolutely wrecked and how $3 million is just sitting in Bob right now. Will Bob ever get back to that all-time high? I mean, maybe. And so might Kishu, by the way. But it's going to be far more difficult because $3 million is just sitting here in liquidity that will just not be moved around. Like, people are stuck. They're holding the bag because all of these people, they pumped you and they dumped you and they pumped you and they dumped you and they pumped you and they dumped you. And you know how I know that they're pumping and dumping you? Because the floor right here in 2023 is still the same all the way through 2024. You're not adding new holders. There's no new holders coming in. All you're doing is you're finding traders to come in, pump that bag, sell, pump that bag, sell, pump that bag, sell. When this comes back down, they're going to pump that bag and sell. This is exactly what happens here. And it happens over and over again. And again, nothing against Bob. Bob might end up being the first meme coin to 100 billion market cap. I'm not saying there's something wrong with it, but let's go on to Lambo. Lambo launched a year ago, along with Bob, along with Pepe, along with all these other ones, right? Well, look at this one, Lambo, $202,000. Which, imagine if you will, let's just take this $202,000. What if we could convince all of the people in Lambo to go get into Daddy? What would happen to Daddy price? It would double. I mean, it would immediately at least double. And I mean, look, it's setting up really good. What would happen if all of them got into SAITAMA? SAITAMA, 5268. Still sitting pretty okay. Again, consolidating at a high level in the range, right where it should have. It bounced off of the spot where you would always you see it, and just kind of do the math here, right? It's probably going to have another significant spike. Will it go back to its all-time high? I don't know. I think it's early. I think it will. I think this is probably going to be one of those magical ones that has a nice little. By the way, I'm not convinced it's going to 7 billion or anything like that. I'm convinced that it's going to run and it's going to have a significant increase in value. I'm convinced of that. But imagine if that $200,000 came over to this. Now, imagine conversely, if SAITAMA just never pumps again, right? And too many people bought up the top here and it never has another pump. There's $100,000 or so locked here that's not coming back to the market. And that's 100,000 cash outable dollars, right? And it's not going to newer, older projects. And there's tons of these everywhere. That's the problem with crypto right now, is that, I mean, look at what we're covering here. We're covering SAITAMA. We're covering Trump. If I type in Trump, imagine how much money is in all of the different Trump tokens. Now, MAGA back down to 697. And it was 18 a couple days ago. I mean, like a couple days ago, this thing went up to $18. So Trump probably going to have another significant pump, another significant push. I keep telling you that. Came down here into the range, and what did it do? It spiked tremendously. Now it's coming back down for another breather. But if I were to type in, like, just take the MAGA token out of it, and then just type in Trump, right? There's the MAGA. But then you keep going down here and you find Moon Trump, Free Trump, Trump, Trump Bull. Then you have another MAGA that's not the same as the original MAGA. Then you have the wormholes. Then you have the Simpson Trump. Then you have Trump Inu. Then you have Donald Trump and Trump with hat. And by the way, look at all the liquidity in every single one of those. Imagine if all that liquidity was just in this one. See what I'm saying? Just imagine if that happened. Right now, then we have DJT. Now this one, by the way, it was a little bit different. So this one's a little bit different. Okay, this is one that was launched allegedly by Martin Shkreli, who is the pharma bro. Has 150 million market cap and 61 million in liquidity. But look at it. Look at it. Scam. And then go down here. Here's the other Trump coin, right? This one was launched 2 days ago. This is allegedly the right one. 160 million market cap, 229,000 in liquidity. That's ridiculous, right? This token metadata can be changed. Be aware. Okay, so there's something wrong here. A lot of these things are like scams and weird shit. But imagine if all of this money was in that one. And I'm not saying that, by the way, that MAGA or Trump is a legitimate project. I'm just saying that imagine if all of those were in that one project and everybody wasn't just pump and dumping the new meta. Remember, there's a new meta that comes out every single time, and Politify was the one of the last metas, right? But then there's Gamify, and then there's all these different kinds. This is what's happening right now. So again, you have 2.5 million tokens to choose from at this point, where you only had 44,000, and you don't even have the same market cap that you had way back when. It's going to take a lot to make your old token pump. That's really the truth here. That's what's going on. So it is possible that some of these tokens are dead and we don't even know it. We don't even realize. It's possible that Volt never gets a gigantic pump. It's possible that Kishu never gets a gigantic pump. It's possible that WAGMI never gets a gigantic pump. Now, I don't think, well, actually, I think WAGMI is probably going to get a pump because it's a good game, and it's a good game and it produces revenue. And Volt, by the same token, has a way of producing revenue. Things that produce revenue probably will have a pump. Will it be just gigantic? I just don't think it will anymore. I think there will be tokens that have amazing pumps, but it's getting very difficult out here. This is very, very, very difficult out here. So Luna Classic Max says it's not a pump. They barely even started to recover. FET was almost $5. It's $1.60. Oh, good Lord. Jesus fucking Christ. Okay. Listen, guys, if you're not savvy enough to understand the difference between a pump and an all-time high, you are not going to make it in crypto. You're just going to cry about everything. And you know how I know you're going to cry about crypto? Because if you're doing that kind of shit already, when you see this, Nvidia is the largest market cap in the world right now. Now, are you a trader? Do you trade? Or do you just buy, if you just buy tokens at the top, you're not going to make it anyway. If you're buying dips and you're selling dips and you're making money, then that's what you're going to do. So if you tell me, I can't believe that you looked at $5 and it was at $5 a long time ago, George, and all of a sudden it's only at $1.60 today. It's the dumbest hot take you can possibly make, because it doesn't really matter where it was a long ass time ago, because we're not in a long ass time ago. You know where we are? We're on a 1 hour chart right now. I'm going to show you the 1 hour chart. This is the 1 hour chart on FET right now. So how far is FET? Well, if you just measure from the bottom, if you bought the dip, all the way to the top is 59.03%. So if you failed and you didn't buy the bottom and you didn't ride it up to the top and get that 50 or 60% gain off of it, it doesn't matter that it was once $5. It matters that that's called a pump. That's upward price action. And that upward price action, by the way, is over 50%. That's called a pump. And by the way, FET's market cap, well over $1 billion. This is why you're not going to make it if you're thinking like that. And it doesn't matter how much FET you have today. What matters is, did you say, you know what? I got 50 bucks or I got $100 right now. I'm going to buy myself a little bit of FET because it's dipping down here. And it's at that $1.10 range where if I zoom back out, I'm going to see there's an enormous spike on it. Oh shit, that's what I'm going to do. And then guess what happens? You buy that and it goes up 50%. And then you just take your original investment out and now you got $50 worth of FET that you're sitting on. So when FET goes up to $5 again, then your $50 is going to be $200 and you got your original $100 out of it. So you made $300 off of the deal because you were thinking short term and you were playing the game the way the game is meant to be played. And you're not just leaving yourself in a bad situation and buying at $5, wondering why it's not pumping from $5. This is why you don't make it. Start making it. Buy these dips. Spend whatever you can. When you see shit like this coming way down and you realize that this, look at this, when you see the RSI is so low down here, and you see, by the way, this is coming down, and you see this is not coming down. This is coming up. That's called a bullish divergence. That means that the price is about to spike and about to go up really good. So then you buy it right there and boom, you make it's simple. You guys are complicating shit, making it way too hard because you don't think like a trader and you're not trading responsibly. You're just like buying stuff. You buy at the top and then be like, hey, it's not pumping. It is pumping. It's up 59%. Nvidia now, in fact, is the largest company in the world. And not only that, but AI tokens then started to surge. And of course, Render is the big one because Render is partnered with Nvidia, and Fetch AI is another big one. There's a whole bunch of them, by the way, a whole bunch of AI tokens that are out here, but it caused a big surge. How much did Render go up? Render went up 26% in the course of 3 days. Now, you might be saying to yourself, that's not a pump because I bought it at $450 or whatever stupid price you bought it at before. That doesn't mean it's not a pump. Still a pump. Still up 26% over the course of 3 days. So if you bought 3 days ago, you are up 26%. Take your goddamn money back out and then leave your 26% in as your moon bag if you don't think it's going to go up anymore. You won. You won. Now, if you did that with the next one, Fetch, it's up 59%. You have a much bigger bag. All you had to do was not buy at $5, buy the dip, and then let it pump, and then take your original investment out after the pump. And even if you have a smaller bag, it doesn't matter. Now you have a bag. You've DCA'd your way into something. You've pulled out your original investment. Now you have a little bit of a moon bag. Now Fetch goes to where people think that it should go. And if we look at Fetch, what can we see Fetch doing? And we pull it up on a daily chart and we look at Fetch, all-time high over here is not even $5, by the way. It's $3.40. So like, you don't even know the top of it. And I'm not mad at you, by the way. I mean, you're welcome to be wrong about what and everything. And by the way, let me show you, by the way, just in case any of you are unclear about Fetch, Fetch is at its all goddamn high. It was just there. So these are incredible numbers up here. Imagine you could not have bought it at $3 unless you bought it in February and March and thought, oh, we're going to go up forever, dog. Not realizing that Bitcoin was about to go to the halving and that we have between 87 and 143 days between the last halvings before Bitcoin really started to rip. If you were just like, we're going into the halving, it's going to go crazy. It's not going crazy. So here you are in the dip before the rip. That's what you got. So buy this shit. I mean, it just makes sense. It just this is why I have blood pressure problems. That's why I have blood pressure problems. I don't really, but this is why. Anyway, so if you look at all of this stuff right here, I mean, where does Fetch, where is Fetch going to go? I mean, like you could just kind of eyeball this and see that Fetch is doing just I mean, look at this shit right here. Like you can't even make this up any clearer. If you give Fetch just a little bit more time, this thing is going to explode. It's actually going to go to $5, not pretend $5, but real $5. It's also probably going to go to $6, real $6, not pretend $6. And where is it in the overall market cap? God damn it, I don't even know what the real market cap is. I know it's in the top 100, but 1.3 billion market cap, fully diluted 4.2 billion market cap. So first of all, the fact that you got 60% gain on a $1 billion market cap, that's nuts to begin with. Market cap here in 24 hours is up 20.91%. And someone just said, that's not pumping, George. Whew, fuck my life. Let's get back to news because I'm losing my shit now. This is why I can't have nice things. This is why I can't have nice things. I can't stop myself. All right, now let's talk about Bitcoin. Why is Bitcoin going up today? Bitcoin whale accumulation. Recent I can't even say fluctuations at this point. God damn it. In Bitcoin, I said I wasn't going to say God damn it again. I said God damn it again. God damn it. Wow, I just did it like 4 times in a row. Huh. Well, there goes monetization. Recent fluctuation in Bitcoin price have provided a buying opportunity for Bitcoin whales. Notably, some investors strategically purchase assets during times of the market turmoil to book maximum profit, given that sentiment along the way with a long-term bullish outlook for Bitcoin price. And by the way, if you think I was talking to you, I wasn't really talking to you, especially not you, LUNC Maxi. Like if your face is all red right now and you're pissed off because I'm like, I don't know if you did or didn't do any of that kind of shit. I was just like riffing. So no offense. And that means it's okay. For instance, a recent report from the prominent on-chain data transfer tracking platform Look On-Chain showed that a smart whale has purchased Bitcoin around 400 million. According to the report, Smart Whale purchased 6,000 Bitcoin worth 395 million amid the recent market dip. And notably, this same whale has previously purchased 41,000 Bitcoin worth 794 million during the 2022 bear market at an average price of $19,000. Listen to me here. 41,000 Bitcoin is what they bought, worth 794 million during the 2022 bear market at an average price of 19,000. What? When the market recovered, he sold 37,000 for 1.74 billion at an average price of 46,000. Now, what did he do? Now he just bought a bunch more. He's been DCAing, he's been accumulating, and he's accumulating at this price. Why? Because he understands what's coming. He understands that everything is about to start ripping. And people who are seeing that are like, you know what? It actually is about to start ripping. So everybody's starting to accumulate right now. And it's the whales who are accumulating. You know why the whales are accumulating? Because you have crazy people out here doing shit like, oh, we're not going to pump anymore, or the bull market's over, or this could be the top. And when you get those kind of things, that starts to lead to frustration. And when you get that frustration, that's when the fear and greed index starts to capitulate, if you will, just a little bit. And you start to see that decline in value here. Remember, fear and greed index a couple days ago, a few short days ago, was at 71, and it was at 90 at one point not too long ago. It's at 52 right now in a neutral position, which means that we're still not into the fear part yet. So, we've got some ways to go on the fear and greed index before we can get an actual explosive move. People need to think, oh God, it's over. You know what I mean? And they need to sell so that the big companies can accumulate. And then you can be, oh, it's not over. And then the first people that buy back in above those institutional investors, those are the ones that are going to make out. They bought the dip. And then, by the way, they bought the dip and then they sold at the top or near the top, or when they made a nice profit. It's all about the profit. So just make the profit, Whew. There we go. All right. Now, let me move on here. Bitcoin's unrealized profit surge above 120%. Bitcoin exchange volumes tumble, but is this a sign of concern? So as per Glassnode researchers, the Bitcoin market value to realized value shows that the average coin holds an unrealized profit around 120%, last seen during the Bitcoin all-time high in March. Interestingly, the MVRV ratio remains above the baseline, highlighting that the macro uptrend remains intact. The macro uptrend still says we are going up, and we're still going to continue to be in a good situation on Bitcoin, and that the bull run is here. Now, there are some cracks in the pavement, by the way. One of the mining companies just recently said that they're still selling Bitcoin and they're losing money when they sell Bitcoin because it's now more expensive to mint new Bitcoin. But here's the thing. They're deceiving you. It's very deceptive when they do that. You know why? Because they're minting the old, because they're selling the old Bitcoin that they've been holding on to. If you're a big miner, you're a whale anyway, and you're selling old Bitcoin at a premium You're just not telling people that. You're just telling people now, well, it's cost $80,000 to mine Bitcoin because it went from 6.25 down to 3.125, and I'm minting so many less Bitcoin than I was minting before. I'm not mining as many Bitcoin nearly blah, 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 and I'm going broke because of it. Oh, cry me a river. You're selling your old Bitcoin that you mined for 20,000. I hate when people do that shit. God, despise that. Anyway. Am I losing my mind today? Am I losing? I could be. I think I might be losing my mind. I might be out of my fucking tree at this point. As of now, the Bitcoin price is stabilizing and consolidating between the standard deviation of 0.5 to 1.0. This shows that despite the choppy market conditions, investors are sitting on higher profits. People are holding their profits. You know why? Because they know it's about to rip. Right? Ever since March all-time high, Bitcoin price has been unable to sustain the upward journey. This shows that the Bitcoin demand is not increasing to establish a decisive upward momentum. Bitcoin trading activity has disappointed people in the last little while, leading to considerable drop-off. And we're still, even beyond that, we're still sitting today, what, at 65,000? Like 65,000? This development highlights waning interest among speculators and increased uncertainty in the market. Also, a major trend is emerging in the Bitcoin spot volume on major exchanges. And I'll show that to you right here. And you can see the macro trend on trading volume is still pretty much down. It's significantly down. We're sitting in this little range right here, whereas before, you know, when you get the spikes, you're up in this little range. Now, we're still up above some of the spots where we were way back here right before the ETF. So we're still, you know, we're past the bull market. But I mean, we're going back into that bear market sort of territory. It doesn't mean that we're not going to spike again. Doesn't mean that we're not going to have that big rip again, because you know, this was where the halving was the last time, and boom, you know what I mean? So it will still happen, but you know, we're cooling off. But we're cooling off at 65,000, maybe even 60,000. If it drops to 60,000, we're still cooling off around $60,000 on Bitcoin. So, god damn. Now, Satoshi Nakamoto is the Ripple CTO. So, and this is kind of wild, right? Kind of wild. This is really wild. So Peter Schwartz, who is the CTO of Ripple, there was recently an investigator, if you will, that said that he thinks that this guy may in fact be Satoshi Nakamoto. Interesting, huh? And by the way, it's not Peter, it's David. God damn it, I put the wrong name in here. Haha. So here's the speculation, okay? Ripple CTO David Schwartz has recently hinted that Bitcoin's enigmatic creator Satoshi Nakamoto might have held a significant amount of XRP. This intriguing claim, made during his 2021 deposition in the SEC versus Ripple lawsuit, has reignited speculation that Schwartz himself could be Satoshi Nakamoto. So, during the deposition, Schwartz revealed that Satoshi likely held a substantial amount of XRP back in 2017. He highlighted that while Ripple was actively developing a payment system centered around XRP, no similar efforts were being made for Bitcoin. Schwartz pointed out that Ripple's control over XRP provides the company with a strategic advantage over Bitcoin. The notion that Satoshi held a large amount of XRP has fueled rumors about Schwartz's potential identity as Bitcoin's pseudonymous creator. Several coincidental events add weight to this theory. Okay, Bitcoin and XRP entry-exit timeline. Schwartz's involvement in the initial development of the XRP ledger aligns with Satoshi exiting from Bitcoin in 2011. Schwartz, Arthur Brito, and Jed McCaleb started developing XRPL around the same time. Satoshi praised the original 2004 Ripple concept for its decentralized system, which coincides with Schwartz's interest in exploring new blockchain endeavors. And Satoshi shared the pre-release version of the Bitcoin code on November 16 of 2009. And guess what is also on November 16? David Schwartz's birthday. While these events and Schwartz's statement add to the speculation, they do not confirm that he is or is not Satoshi Nakamoto. It's purely speculation. The true identity of Bitcoin's creator remains one of the greatest mysteries in the crypto world. We don't have any idea, but it's very, very interesting to see this, right? That not only is his birthday, and by the way, I mean, so I mean, there's a 0.3% chance that it's going to be your birthday anyway with the number of people, blah, 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 blah. It's not that's not really that interesting, except that a lot of these things are starting to line up. And this guy seems to have some knowledge about Satoshi owning XRP and not just being this mysterious entity with Bitcoin. So there's a lot working for the new conspiracy that David Schwartz, the CTO of Ripple, may in fact be Satoshi Nakamoto. Now, Peter Brandt and Willy Woo issue a dire warning on Tether. So, and by the way, it's not an immediate, you don't need to sell your Tether or anything like that. But Peter Brandt is a crypto analyst, and he says that he has grave concerns about the future of Tether, not short term. This is long term, by the way. Again, you don't need to sell right now. Consumer Research criticized Tether for allegedly misleading the market about its U.S. dollar backing and receiving a high risk rating from S&P. Also, it highlighted that Tether has refused to undergo a rigorous independent financial audit, which they say they're doing, but not Consumer Research. Brandt, known for his critical stance on X, quoted the Consumer Research Post and offered his opinion. He stated that, interesting perspective. My contention for years is that Tether is headed for eventual disaster. I agree with all of this, which was what they were claiming. The US dollar will eventually meet its demise, but years after that, the same will be experienced by Tether. So he's not saying that there's something wrong with Tether necessarily. He has hints and speculations that there could be something wrong. But what he's generally saying here is that the fall of Tether is going to be based on their reliance on the peg with the US dollar. And by the way, this is a dumb take. Like, I don't know how how do people this dumb end up being your financial advisor? I mean, if I'm Tether and this happens and USDT if the USD peg starts falling, then I make an announcement and I'm like, whatever the BRICS money is, that's what we're using now. It's ridiculous. Or you branch out and you're like, okay, you know what? We're going to peg to the euro, and we're going to peg, we're going to peg a couple of these different tokens, and we're going to create this variable sort of thing. And I mean, that's how you do it, right? I don't understand how these dumb dumbs don't see this kind of stuff. Like that's why this digital, to me, the digital economy is so weird, because people just don't understand. Like, you could just peg it to something else. Stupid. You know what I mean? Like, Jesus Christ, I really need, I need to start smoking weed or something. You know what I mean? Like, God damn. Tether has faced scrutiny and legal challenges over its claim that USDT is backed 1-to-1. And by the way, Tether is making billions of dollars every quarter, and they're buying Bitcoin with that. If you don't think Tether is a healthy company, you're stupid. That's all I can say. Adding to the debate, Bitcoin maximalist Willy Woo offered a counter argument, and Woo pointed out that Tether has defied predictions of its demise for the past decade. He says Tether was meant to die every single year for the last 10 years of its operation. At least as old as Ethereum, Bitcoin is 15 years old, and both got robust scales at around 10 years. Wu suggested that Tether's longevity and adaptability could help it survive even amidst significant market changes. In addition, he argued that Tether is evolving towards over-collateralized assets that could outperform traditional low-yield securities such as T-bills. Moreover, Wu highlighted that the potential for Tether to pivot towards assets like Bitcoin and gold, which they're buying tons of Bitcoin. He believes such a move could offer great stability and value retention. So, I mean, like, duh. Now, earlier this week, Will Hild, executive director of consumer research, highlighted that the stablecoin is being utilized by Russia and other nations to sidestep sanctions. So is the U.S. dollar, stupid. Like, do we not see this? Do we not see what these idiots are telling you? Right? These open attacks are just stupid. Israeli government recently froze approximately 100 Binance accounts, while Tether froze assets valued at 800,000. Because it happens. Because there has to be a Leo out there somewhere, of course. However, it's kind of crazy, right? Hill says it's been used by Russia to avoid monetary sanctions. It's been used by countries like Venezuela, and then it seems to be being used by human traffickers. Last year, Tether was linked to nearly 20 billion in illicit transactions. Tether has also been used by Hamas, Al-Qaeda, ISIS, and others with known terroristic linked financial transactions in the millions. 1%. The other 99% US dollar. Stop me when I'm telling lies. A famous wrestler once said, "Stop me when I'm telling lies." The US dollar is how this is paid. It's not this stuff. The difference here is there's none, by the way. If you have a bunch of dollars, you have a whole bunch of dollars, right? You could go sell those dollars and wherever you want. I mean, this is the dumbest thing you can, like, these people are idiots. These are the people that are in charge, by the way. These are the people that are telling you what's good for you. These are idiots. Furthermore, he'll further suggest that Tether is involved in criminal activities, drawing parallels to the downfall of FTX. No evidence, none whatsoever, but that's what he's saying. So be watching out just in case. This is newsworthy, so we're going to cover it, but these guys are fucking idiots. Now, MicroStrategy has bought another 11,931 Bitcoin, totaling 786 million. And they borrowed basically $800 million with the firm paid more than 65,880 per Bitcoin purchased in its latest acquisition of Bitcoin. Now we look at it, we're like, oh my God, that's a little bit crazy. Why would you buy it at 65,000? Why wouldn't you play the dip? Well, according to Michael Saylor, this is the dip. Anything under 100,000 is the dip. So that's what they're doing. And then you know what? Here's the thing. You remember they bought and they DCA'd all the way through, and now they are in this enormous amount of profit. They're going to do that again in a couple years. And by the way, he's not even interested in selling right now. He's actually turning MicroStrategy into a Bitcoin building mechanism. So fantastic opportunity right there. Now, let's move on because we got to hurry up here. Ethereum options signal a rekindling of market optimism over the last couple of days. Yes, Bitcoin, the Australian Bitcoin ETFs have started. But we don't have any data, we don't have any numbers, and the market's not pumping because of it, or we don't see it pumping right now because of it. So we'll have to wait and see what it looks like, and then we'll have to get some data and then see whether or not it's positive or not. However, the speculation, that's what it's been about. It's been about the speculation. And it's going to take a little while before we really see how it plays out. Bitcoin dipping, by the way, US market on the clock, sucking liquidity out like it's a big giant D. You know what I mean? Just what they do. You know what I mean? And we got Peter Sniff here. He says that silver just mooned and gold trying to break all-time high. And that's great. That's actually great, especially for people who are into precious metals, because I want everybody to be profitable. I don't want you to be I don't want you to not be profitable because of your investment or something, because you're investing in something that I don't like. So I hope I hope silver goes crazy. I hope gold goes crazy. And of course that will affect the price of Bitcoin, but it's only short term. You know what I mean? Because Dingbat McStupid, Peter Sniff, came out the other day and he made a post and he said that gold, 0.13 grams of gold are used in every Nvidia GPU, but no Bitcoin is used, which means that gold is more valuable than Bitcoin. Like, just God damn it. Like, this is the dumbest. This dude is trying to find different ways to say I'm the dumbest financial advisor on the planet. It is unbelievable. It is unbelievable. Anyway, so Bitcoin option market is starting to rekindle, which means that people are recognizing that, within potentially 12 days right now, we could be looking at a Bitcoin ETF. Now, what does that signal? That should signal that we're going to see an enormously good pump coming for Ethereum very, very soon. Now, I do think we're going to propel ourselves above 4,000, probably ending up around 4,600, maybe even 4,800 near the all-time high before that thing launches. So get ready for a big move. And if that happens, by the way, remember what I told you yesterday? What I told you yesterday was that Ethereum, if it pops its all-time high and gets near 5,000, that's when you're going to see a cascade of money coming down into the broader markets. That's when you're going to see that people taking profits, and then they're going to start looking for those altcoins for that altcoin move. That's what I think is getting ready to happen. So, and by the way, I was wrong about Bitcoin, so I'm not saying it will happen. I said I thought it would happen at 48,000 or 50,000. I thought it would happen at 69,000. It has not cascaded down. We've only had like 8 or 9 different cryptos really rip to Bitcoin over this period of time. So remember that. I'm not telling you. I'm just telling you. You know what I'm telling you. You get it. Anyway, so Ton has surged. Ton surge in popularity with skyrocketing on-chain metrics. The on-chain metrics for Ton are going parabolic. The transfer volume range between 5 billion and 10 billion. For comparison, Bitcoin's average daily transfer volume is around 50 billion. This indicates Ton has already achieved between 10% of Bitcoin's capacity. Now, is Ton Coin trading at 10% of Bitcoin's market cap would be the next question, right? At that point, right? Well, it actually is. It's at 17 billion market cap. That's not 10%. That's like 1/100th of a percent. But just consider right now, there is a huge surge in the popularity of ton coin, especially when you look at it over, just the last year. Over the last year, it was trading at $1. Now it's trading at $7. So this is one of them. Like I'm telling you, there are only like 8 or 9 of these. They're that are taking off in this way, and ton is one of those. One of the measures is the physical transfer volume expressed in USD. CryptoQuant shared a chart that illustrates the total value of transactions made by the ton blockchain. The transfer volume is between 5 and 10 billion. For instance, Bitcoin averages 50 billion. The other significant statistic is the quantity of token owners in the ton network. There are now 32 million of them. Just 1 year ago, it was 2.9 million. This is a 10-fold increase within 1 year, which demonstrates that the ton token is becoming increasingly popular. It's set to become a major blockchain player with growing demand. The open network, with more users and transactions taking part, the open network is set to become a major player in the field of blockchain. This growth trend tends to suggest that ton has a promising future, so more investors and developers are going to be interested in ton. The open network is probably going to continue to grow. And remember, this is one of those things that's primed for explosion when we get into this next real bull run of the market. So lastly, everything is going nicely on chain with metrics, and the growth is there. But given the transfer volume of 10 billion and the holder count of 32 million, it is suggested that maybe this is a $100 to $200 billion project at this point, and we just haven't seen the parabolic surge for ton coin. So if you don't and you haven't already, you might want to get yourself a bag of ton coin, buying the dip, and then sell once it starts to get into big profit, and then take your original investment out so that your moon bag is there and it has a nice little increase to it. Now let's move on to SHIB. Shiba Inu is looking really good and has a price forecast coming out, but there was a $77 million signal that might be giving people an idea that there is about to be a big move. On June 19, the global crypto market halted the 3-day losing streak as bull traders sought to mitigate the raging market liquidations. However, while mega cap assets like Bitcoin and ETH have benefited from the growing optimism, the meme coin sector has seemed to remain in a bearish territory. And we've seen that. But SHIB and Dogecoin, the two largest meme coins, have suffered yet another wave of considerable downswings. It has been kind of being pushed down. June 1st, SHIB was trading at 4028. Today, it's trading at 4017, reflecting a 40% loss over the 20-day period. Again, it's a dip. This latest downsizing could be attributed to investors rotating funds out of the meme coin market, which is considered riskier and more sensitive to social sentiment. However, the continuation of this trend now looks unlikely as retail traders were spotted piling on demand to purchase SHIB at the current discounted prices. Investors have piled on and bought 5.3 trillion SHIB in the last couple of days, and it's whales accumulating again. I'm telling you right now, I do think that there's another big rip getting ready to happen with SHIB. All of the metrics, all of the data, everything about SHIB is telling you that there is a big move coming. I really think that that's getting ready to happen. So watch for SHIB to have a big move going forward. Also, Luna Classic, tax-to-gas. I'm going to speed this up a little bit for you guys. Tax-to-gas is the paradigm shift in Luna Classic. I think that this makes a big move. What it's doing right now is currently you have to calculate your gas tax, or you have to calculate taxes every time you create an app or a dApp that goes on this blockchain. With tax-to-gas, you will not have to do that. It will be calculated automatically for you. Takes away some of the effort and some of the difficulty in building on the blockchain. Now, it could raise the gas price a little bit. Gas price insignificant at this point. Could raise the gas price a little bit, which is going to be prohibitive to some gamers and stuff like that. Might even require an L2 solution at some point for that. But for right now, it's just a good idea to have something like that to simplify the process. Allnodes, however, is not happy about it because they weren't consulted and there was not enough data for them. So they voted to abstain instead of voting no, because the entire community, other than them and like one or two others, voted yes. So we'll see how this maintains and how it plays itself out. By the way, people like Strathcole, who are developers that are part of this in Genuine Labs, they all abstain because they don't want to tip the hat because it's their project. They don't want to, they don't want to have and by the way, it might not be Strathcole, but Genuine Labs for sure, they abstained because it's their thing. So, you know, maybe, just maybe, we'll see some developments happening. And of course, we're going to see some continued infighting, because that's just how it works over in LUNC land, I guess. So more fighting. DevvE token. DevvE is having a nice little consolidation period. I mean, I guess that's what we got to call it, right? It's a nice little consolidation period, and we're still trying to shake out. It's still the idea here: shake out some of the long-term hodlers, or short-term, the people who are not going to be here at the end. It's basically what it is, right? Just, you know, let's shake them out. So there's some announcements coming very, very soon. You know what I mean? So, by the way, remember, there is a weekly DevvE quiz if you want to get in it. The questions today are: what is the ISO compliance status of the DevvE ecosystem? If you can answer that question, you can get a point. What organization is responsible for managing and overseeing the DevvE token and ecosystem? If you answer that one, forever. Then you get a point there. What major publication voted Litcraft Metaverse the second best blockchain game? I don't know. Cointelegraph. I don't know. I mean, you're going to have to look that up. It's Cointelegraph. And then, which are the paying methods allowed at the DevvE shop? So if you want to go check the DevvE shop, buy yourself a shirt, something like that. And then number 5, the question: which platform did DevvE announce a strategic partner with on June 1st, aimed at providing additional exposure to new communities? So if you can answer those questions, you could win some BOEM, like $100. I think they're giving away like $100. Yeah, $100 USDT weekly prize for the most points, 150 of DevvE if you're a monthly leader and you're answering the most questions and you're doing it first and you're getting the most points. So a great opportunity for you. I mean, like don't fade an opportunity for free stuff. Also, SAITAPUMP here. Let's see what SAITAMA is doing right now. Could be down just a little bit. 52.87 right now. It's at 52.87. Having 3 out of 4 of the last couple of days have been in the red. So, you know, we're not looking at a good sort of pump level. But here's what I want to tell you, because and why I'm not afraid and worried about it, is because that right there. Let's remove. Well, let's leave that right there. This line that I just put right here, that's the top of the last rip, right? And there it is right there. We bounced off of the top of the last rip. Now that means that it's a consolidation for that next leg up. What's that next leg up look like? In my opinion, it's 15 cents. I think that 15 cents right here is the next move. And then after that, of course, I think we tacked that all-time high up at around the 22-cent range. And it's coming. We're just kind of stuck in a... I kind of, you know, we're just kind of stuck, right? We're just kind of stuck in this range. I asked my meth dealer if he accepted USDT, and he said, "What's that, dude?" You know what? The funny thing was, I actually made a video of that where I was just clowning on it, and I don't remember where I posted it. I mean, I think I posted it on like TikTok or something like that, and I'm like, "Yeah, bro, let's buy some," you know. And I'm like, I'll post it. Yeah, I'll post it on Twitter, because it just reminds me how dumb people are. You know what I mean? Like, I can't believe that these people are in charge of making decisions. You know what I mean? So anyway, that's where we are, guys. The last thing I want to show you is the Bitcoin flows. We don't have any data from yesterday on the Bitcoin ETFs. So you can see right here in USD that it's a 0 day, which means we don't have an update. Markets were closed. So we'll get an update for it today. So there you have it. All right, that's it. So let's pay some bills. And I got to go. We'll talk to you guys soon. Cryptonomy.finance just had an update. They are now available in 4 different languages. In active development are a lot of cool different updates and information about partnerships from Cryptonomy that's going to be announced very, very soon. Now, to be part of that, follow them on Telegram at Cryptonomy_finance and on Twitter at Cryptonomy_fi. Now, what's going on with Cryptonomy.finance is nothing short of incredible. My positions on this launchpad have been just outstanding, and my contract ends November 21 of 2024. And at this point, I think that that's not even going to be the max of the bull run. So if you will, give me just a moment here. I'm going, and by the way, I've done very well on Cryptonomy. I'm going to go with the silver level. Contract going to end right here, 19 June 2025. We're going to go 3 Bitcoin on this move. All right, so we've got a bronze that's been just absolutely killing the game, guys. I put in half a Bitcoin previously. If you remember, that was $30,000 Bitcoin at that point. So, we put in about $15,000. My accrued interest so far, and by the way, I do have, this is a share because it's a 50-50 split, but my cut of that, $84,241 right now in Bitcoin. So this is an incredible rate of return so far for Cryptonomy.finance. So do you want to be part of that? Sign up to Cryptonomy.finance today.